Hello, everybody. So I just want to use this avenue to apologize for not showing up on the first class. I was unavoidably absent. I really, really wished to show up. Yeah, but I couldn't. Yeah. So I'm recording this video because I want us to still be on schedule, and so that when I come to class today, we'll be able to just pick up from here. So the idea is that everybody should have watched this video. I'm going to try my best to make it as short as possible. At least in 10-15 minutes, I should be done with what I'm saying here. And so this is basically an introduction to Adobe and to show you the basic things you need to know. I'm not showing you everything about Photoshop right now. You get. So if you open your Photoshop, this is what's going to look like. Whether you're using a Mac or you're using a PC, I'm using a Mac. And just a quick tip: if I say Control and you're using a Mac, don't press Control, press Command, please. And I'll definitely say Alt. And when I say Alt, you're saying Options. I'm still saying that because I'm used to saying that. I used a PC for a very long time. So yeah, these are these are not toolbars, these are menus. Menu bars, file, edit, image. They exist on every Photoshop, you get. So we don't need them now, sha, but like we need them. Now, when you enter Photoshop, what are showing the things that are showing here, they are not templates, unlike Canva. They are recent files, the files that you just worked on recently, and you can, yeah, sort them based on the most recent, sort them based on their size, sort them based on their kind. I think kind, that means everything, because everything is a Photoshop file. I believe so. Yeah, I think so, everything is a Photoshop file. But you can sort them. I think the usual one that we just do is kind. You get either ascending or descending as well. This is the home button, and the home button is basically where we are. You get. I'll show you how to get to the home button when we enter Photoshop. And so you can click on this to see it in like a list format if you want that. But me, I like to see it in like blocks so that I can see what I want to click on. Yeah, you can, yeah, anyone you want to open, you can just click on it. I don't want to click on it right now because my drive is not connected, but I think I can just connect that. So let me just connect it, then I'll come back to it and click. But like if you want to work on a file, the first thing you do is come here, this blue button that is here, new file, click on it. And when you click on it, what you want to do is set up your page. Now, I want you to know that Photoshop already has existing page templates that you can take advantage of. Um, Nobody really uses it, but I don't use it. But like I think this is for like a screen size. If you want to design a YouTube thumbnail or maybe a design that is going to go up on screen, you can use this. It's 1920 by 1080p. If I click on it as well and I just come here and change the orientation to portrait, that would give me a screen like a phone screen size, that kind of thing. But yeah, so these are the recent artboard. So when you're working on Photoshop, the paper you're using to work is called the artboard. So these are the recent artboard sizes that I've used in the past days. Do you understand? So if I have like a custom artboard size, I can right click and I think I can save it. So I can just, I think I can do that here. Save it, save present. And when I come to save, I'll see it here. You get, I just want to show you that. So I can save it so that anytime I come, I don't have to go to recent. Imagine it's like I've not used it in a while, but I want to use it. I'll just go to save and I save. So their photo, so this is like their photographers use Photoshop as well. And so this is like default print size. There are other print size. If you go to a photographer's um store, they'll ask you what's the size of the print when you want to print a picture, 5 by 7, 6 by 4, and whatnot. So there's print is like A4, so this is A4, I think so. Okay, this is A4 as well. A4 legal tripod, I think there's supposed to be more here. Just click on view or present and you see all of them in terms of print size. Art and illustration, I don't really use this, so I don't know what it is for. Then web, I think this is for we want to design a website, but you hardly do that on Photoshop. Yeah. So let's get back to this. Let's say I want to design for Instagram. Then another thing too you need to do is this is the part where you sort of like costume your Photoshop document. You understand? Like you actually like create it from scratch. So let's call this Photoshop stats. I don't know for this, but let's just call it career map. So you name the file career map one. A lot of people don't do this, but I do it. So you name the file so that when you're saving, it's going to be easier. You don't have to save it again. So you don't leave it as untitled. You change. This is what we call. I think they call it parameter. So parameter is just basically what you're using to measure it. Are you using inches to measure it? There's some things that you want to design. Let's say, especially when it comes to prints, you need to know, is it inches, is it in millimeters, is it in centimeters, is it in points, is it in pixels. We mostly use millimeters, centimeters, inches, and pixels. If you're doing a lot of screen design, you're going to be using a lot of pixels. So let's say pixels, and we're doing like an Instagram sized design, and so we are going to work with 1080. So when you hear 1080p, that p there, anytime you hear 1080p, 420p, 720p, 480 and 720, the p there is pixels. You understand? So inches is another thing and whatnot. So let's work with 1080p by 1350. Now, because Photoshop is a pixelated software, it works with resolution. So you have to set the resolution even before you start working. And resolution basically just talks about how much quality the design is going to have. For designs that are not going to be printed, it's advisable to just use 72 because it's good enough for screen, and at the same time too it helps you not to create a document that is so large that is now so much to save. You get, so the higher the resolution, the higher um the larger the file is going to be. So you have a resolution that is as low as 72. I think that was for a screen design, like a design that they're just going to use on social media. That's what I mean by screen design. You get. But if you want a print design, you can go as far as 500 resolutions. Some people, if you have a very good laptop, go on, up until like 1000 resolution. It's going to lag your laptop if you don't have a very good laptop. You understand? Then another thing you want to set here is RGB. So I think they're actually supposed to allow me to choose color mode. It's supposed to be RGB, and okay, let me see if this is the problem. Alright, I'll get back to this, but usually you're supposed to have to pick between RGB and CMYK. So I'll try to figure this out. I don't know why it's doing like this here. So what you want to do now is pick a background color. Usually we just leave it at white. You can, so it means that when you open your artboard, is it going to be on white, is it going to be on black, is it going to be transparent? I don't know. Costume means that you have to now pick your own color and make it red. You understand? But let's just work with white. Then another thing too is, in recent times I just select artboard, and I'll show you why. Let me do this selecting artboard so you see what artboard means. An artboard is just basically that um artboard helps you create more artboard. When you select artboard, it helps you create more artboard on one Photoshop file. But when artboard is not selected, you just have only one artboard. You can't really do more than one artboard on a Photoshop file. You understand? And yeah, I'll try to come back to work on this CMYK, because CMYK is necessary for when you want to print. But I largely do not recommend doing print designs with Photoshop, except you're going to do Photoshop, move it to like Illustrator or another vector file that's going to give you like CorelDRAW or something that's going to give you documents at a very high quality for print. You get. So, but you cannot as well use Photoshop, because if you increase resolution, it's something that's going to be too big. So it just depends, sha. But it's safer to use like vector software. So you're going to click on create, and this is what I mean by artboard. Now, if you come here, you see under the layer panel, you will see artboard here. I can come here and duplicate the artboard. You get. But if I had created, let me go back to new. So if I come here, file, click on new, and I uncheck the artboard, you will see that first of all, Here it's just showing background, it's not showing anything. You understand? So yeah, let's go back to this. Now I did some things that I did not explain for you people, and basically the things I did was to come in and just tell you this is the layer panel. Now on Photoshop there are different panels. There's one for paragraph, there's one for give. So as you get to use Photoshop, I believe, I'm not saying this to be lazy, because I'm saying this because I believe in it, because there's so much that Photoshop has. And let me prove it to you. If you go to Windows, these are everything that you need. So layers, libraries, info. Some of us have never finished learning a lot of these things. Do you get? So it's the more you use it. Some of us are going to be interested in things like um photo manipulation, and you get to use a lot more of these Photoshop tools. You get more than even somebody like me that does more brand identity design. So there's a layer for everything. You get? So there's navigator. I used to use navigator at the early part of my, will I say, career, sounding like a very old person. So navigator just helps you see this the whole screen and the whole artboard, actually the whole artboard, in like a smaller place where you can actually tweak it. You get? But I don't use navigator anymore because it doesn't make sense to me at all. You get? So history as well, I don't use history as much. So history just helps you do things like go back in time. If you made a, so instead of pressing just Control Z, you can actually literally go back to like the changes you made. I deleted this stuff. So yeah, this is where we are, deleted artboard. If I go back to move it, it will show you, what happened next. So you see now I can't see that deleted artboard again. Do you get? So yeah, that's what history is about. History is like the amount of things you've done on a document. And so with history, this stuff here, you can go back in time. And so you can basically bring out history, paragraph, gives, properties. There's this stuff that's here, color, swashes, and even character. So character is basically how you can use to edit a text. You can basically bring out each and every one of these things, even channels and whatnot, by going to your windows, and you see everything here. You understand? So history is here. History is showing you history. Come here. You see info. Everything is here. Do you understand? So just come to your Windows panel, Windows menu bar, and you see this. You get? So you see everything that you need, and these are basically things that you need to work on graphics as a designer, or basically work on Photoshop. Then the next most important thing that I'm going to show you as I'm going to end the video, and yeah, is your toolbar. So your toolbar has a lot of things, and I really believe in self-learning, because we have about 3 weeks to work on this. So you might want to go and learn how some of the tools work. But if your Photoshop is new, I think my Photoshop as well does it. If you just click on it long enough, you see, you don't have to even click on it. You just come here and place your mouse there, your cursor. You see how the tool works. Move to moves a selection or a layer. Marquee to rectangle marquee to, it helps you make a rectangle selection. The lasso tool, it helps you manually make a selection. So if I have the lasso tool, I can just make a selection like this. You understand? Artboard tool helps you edit artboard. You can add artboard, you can add artboard and whatnot. The marquee selection tool, you can see what it does. It gives you like a magic selection. You get magic selection one. So if there was an image here, I can just easily select, just like the way they selected the background of this lizard or whatever that nigga is called. Then there's the crop tool. You all know what crop tool does. Yeah, it helps you crop even from the days of PowerPoint. There's the color picker tool, eyedropper tool, called the color picker tool. It helps you basically pick colors. So if you have a color here, it picks it, then it changes. If you pick this color here, you see it changes here on this color map or something. I've forgotten what it's called. But yeah, this is the color that, the color picker tool shows, even when you have like a brush. So this is the color of the brush. Anytime you have a brush, you can just come here and yeah, you have a layer selected, then reduce your brush and you brush over. You're not going to see anything, because if I select on this now and change it to like red, you see now that Why is not showing? Ah. Oh, oh, this is artboard 2. Okay, sorry. And this marquee is selected as well. So if you want to unselect the marquee, just press Ctrl D. Let's go back to this artboard 2, brush 2, and you can brush on it. You understand? So you can brush on the whole page, make it red. That's very fun. Let's go back to this. Yeah, there are other tools, like I said. I just brought out the brush tool. It helps you brush. You can do a lot of settings with the brush tool. If you have the brush tool selected and you have a layer opened, that's another important thing. You can right click, select the size of the brush tool, make it as big as possible, reduce it to as small as possible, then make it hard. If you make it hard, it means that this side is going to be brushing. If you make it less hard, this side is going to be brushing. Do you understand? Then as you come here as well, this is when the brush is selected. That's when you see this stuff here. You can select the type of brush you want. There are different types of brush that you can use. Yeah, increase the size. So this one is a different type of brush. Do you understand? It's a different type of brush. So you can come here, select different styles of brush. Amazing thing is that you can as well download brushes that you need. So this brush now, I'm increasing the size so that you can see what it does. Yeah. So yeah, let's go back to the default brush, the normal one that we normally know. Yeah, so there are different things. There's a gradient tool. I don't really use gradient tool. I really don't use it because I don't like it. It's hard to edit. So like, it's not customizable. I rather just create a rectangle, like come here, create a rectangle, and give it a fill, give it a gradient fill. Then that way I can customize what happened to the rectangle and whatnot. You understand? So that's the way I create my own gradients. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Um, this is the pen tool, one of the hardest tool for beginners to use. It helps you basically select. It helps you basically draw shapes. Yeah, I've made a shape. I can right click and define custom shape, and that is a shape. Yeah, so this is a shape. If I press on P, I can basically give it a fill. It's pink, remove the stroke. You get, at the same time too, with the selection of P, you can basically edit it. I'm supposed to be able to edit this. So just press on P. Yeah, so you can basically edit it, turn it to what you want it to be, and yeah. Then so I don't really use Photoshop, so a lot of the things, and also I know how to do this stuff. So, but like when your Photoshop comes, I believe it's going to come, like for example, the rectangle to there's supposed to be more things under the rectangle family. So you're going to get their shortcut, and for me, what I just usually do is rectangle 2 is U, and so because I know there are other things under the rectangle 2, I'll just press shift U, and shift is shift everywhere. Shift U, and you see the other things that are under the rectangle 2. Are you seeing how it's changing? So yeah, circle 2 is here, free transform 2 is here. So I think this is custom tool or something. Yeah, custom shape tool. So there are different shapes that you can use under the custom shape. You see that shape that we created, it came under here. Do you understand? So yeah, there are so many different tools that you use to work on Photoshop, and this is where you get them. Do you understand? Then there are other things here, things like auto select. So auto select helps you, means that you can just select anything, but me, I don't like using it because I want to come here and select the layer that I'm going to use. Then there's show transformation, and so transformation is that I think this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, this 8 edged um rectangle that is around every shape that you click on. Then there's alignment. So alignment basically helps you put it either on the right, middle. I think everybody that uses Microsoft Word knows what alignment does. Yeah, so align on the right, yeah, and whatnot. Let me talk about something before I end this video. This is the layers. Now, layers is a very important aspect of Photoshop, because layers is where all the elements that you use on a design are. So let's delete these two artboards. Now, one very important thing to know, if a layer is under on this layer panel, it means that the layer is going to be under. So there's no need for send to the back, send to the front. If you just drag it and come up, it will become on top. If you want this one to be on top, bring it on top. On a layer panel, you can select two layers. So select, click on command or control, right click and group it. You can put them in a group from layers, and I don't know, give it a name, but I don't care. But yeah, so you see that they are in a group. And what that does for you is that you can be able to select them together and move around. Now, another thing to note is that every layer has an adjustment mode. You understand? So as you toggle different adjustments, you see that it changes. You understand? I've not been really able to understand, but I know it has something to do with like light, darkness, and whatnot. You get. So basically, what you want to do is based on what you're trying to achieve in a design, toggle between the adjustment layer in order to get. Adjustment layer is just to help a certain layer blend with another one. I think they call it blend modes. Yeah. So these are different blend modes that you can use. I don't know how to correct adjustment layer, but yeah, these are different blend modes you can use. Then now, still under the layer, a layer has both opacity and fill. Especially when, so opacity is like whether it is transparent or not. You get, if the opacity is low, it's going to be transparent. If the opacity is high, it's going to not be transparent. So the fill talks about the actual fill. Like, so in design there's fill and there's stroke. So the stroke is the line around it. Then the fill is the shape inside of it. So you can also determine that as well. Because this shape only has fill. So let's say if I had come here to add stroke, um, if I reduce the fill here, it's going to be only the fill inside and the stroke is going to be intact. Do you understand? If I reduce the opacity, everything is going to go. So those are the differences. Yeah. As well, you can click on this, lock a layer. If you lock a layer, it means that you can't really select and move the layer. You can't even see it. You can't, so it's locked. It's locked in, that kind of shape. Then there are a lot of things here. Adjustments. You can adjust. You can give it a stroke, give it emboss, indoor shadow, inner shadow, outer shadow, satin, color overlay, gradient map, pattern, outer glow, shadow. Then you can also give it layer max. Layer max is a class on its own because it's a very important topic, as well as these are effects. Sorry, these effects. So these are effects that you can add to a layer. Effects. So effect is effects as well. Then these are adjustment layers. So adjustment layers, they are layers. So as I click on it now, it became a layer on its own, and you can use it to adjust the way something looks. You understand? So if you come to image, for example, now you can see adjustments. So these things now that you're seeing here, you're going to see them here. The difference is that these ones are like adjustment edits. So if you had an image, you can change the brightness and contrast, but this one is like a layer. Do you get? Yeah. I think this has been amazing so far. In the next class, we are going to go further into understanding what Photoshop is and bring in your questions as you come for the next class. I want to believe that there are a couple of people in this class that already know how to use Photoshop, and I really appreciate if you can help me answer the questions. And yeah, another thing I would love to see in my class as we go on is that you're not just waiting for me to give you everything. I keep on saying it, this is a very short class, and I believe that people can finish this class and be like Photoshop gurus. It's going to be amazing if we go back to watch videos. So the more you guys ask questions, the more it will spur me to recommend videos for you to watch. And I think another thing that is also very simple to do and note is if you have an issue, go to YouTube and look for that problem, and go to look, just search it. You don't know how to adjustment layer work, you just go and say how to use adjustment layer on Photoshop. You see a video addressing that particular issue. And like I said before when we started this class, if you learn it, you never forget it. You get. Thank you very much. I have a curriculum that I'm just going to try to follow. And like I've been saying since I'm going to reiterate again. It's going to do you a world of good if you go out, research a couple of things by yourself. I'm here to guide you in and answer any questions that you have as we learn Photoshop together. Have an amazing rest of your day. See you later this evening. Goodbye.